In this module, I'm breaking down exactly how to price commercial cleaning jobs, and I'm going to walk you through the method that I personally use, the method that gives you the most accuracy when you're first starting out. Now, before we begin, let me just start off by saying this. There is no one correct way to price commercial cleaning. Some companies quote based on square footage, and others quote based on how long the job will actually take to clean. Both of them work, but in this video, I'm showing you the approach that I use and I teach, which is time-based pricing, because it's the most reliable and the easiest way to learn when every building has a different layout, different foot traffic, and a different scope of work. Why I don't rely only on square footage. Square footage is helpful, but it almost never tells the full story. You can have two buildings that are both 5,000 square feet, but one might need trash, dusting, and floors. The other might need full surface cleaning, restrooms, break rooms, kitchen, glass, vacuuming, and disinfecting. One may have 2 employees, the other may have 20 employees coming in and out all day. One may have carpet, the other may have tile or VCT that needs more maintenance and more cleaning. Same size, completely different workload. That's why I always price based on time, not the square footage. Although the square footage will help in the future to reference back to. When you're doing the walkthrough is where you gather all of your information. You should be taking notes, taking videos, reviewing the full scope of work, looking at traffic patterns, noting restroom counts, checking the floor types, looking at how many offices are occupied, listening to the client's expectations, asking questions, taking measurements and photos. Even if your commercial quote isn't perfect, it becomes a reference point to the future. You'll learn your production rate from that type of building, and quoting becomes easier for you in the future. How to estimate clean time. There are two ways to figure out how long a building will take to clean. The first one is the beginner method, which is the room by room estimating. So imagine yourself cleaning the building and giving each area a time estimate. Women's restroom, 20 minutes, men's restroom, 15 minutes, break room, 15 minutes, hallways, 10 minutes, offices, 10 minutes, trash and floors, 25 minutes. And then add them all together and get your total hours per cleaning. Of course, always give yourself some more room for error. The second method is a quick estimate. Once you've done this enough times, you'll be able to walk into a building and instantly know this is going to take about a 5-hour cleaning. I think two of us can get this done in about 4 hours, which is 8 hours. Or you can look at a job and say, you know what, based on another location, I believe it's about a 5-hour clean. Both methods are correct. One is just faster when you have more experience. Why we use 4.33 in our formula. There are 52 weeks in a year. When you divide that by 12 months, you get 52 divided by 12 equals 4.33. So 4.33 represents the average number of weeks in each month. We use that number so you can convert weekly cleanings into a consistent, accurate monthly charge, which is how commercial pricing is normally presented. Now let's talk a little bit about the pricing formula, and we're going to use $35 an hour just as an example. Here's the formula for your monthly charge. You're going to take your hours per visit multiplied by the number of visits per week, multiplied by 4.33, multiplied by 35, and you have your monthly charge. So here's an example. There's a building that takes 2 hours each visit. The client wants 5 days a week, and your hourly rate that you're charging your client is $35 an hour. So the calculations are going to look like 2 hours times 5 visits times 4.33 times 35 is $15.50 per month. That becomes the base monthly price for your service. Now that you have your monthly charge, you can add on your monthly supply costs, such as chemicals, mop heads, paper towels, consumables, and any required taxes based on your state or local laws. These are not included in your time-based rate, so they're simply added on afterward, but you're going to bundle it up into your monthly charge. Now let's talk about a one-time fee for new accounts. When you start a new commercial cleaning account, you should always include a one-time deep cleaning fee. Every building needs a full reset so that you can maintain it properly moving forward. Number 2 is a one-time starter kit fee. This covers the chemicals, the tools, spray bottles, mop heads, and any other items that you leave at the account to manage it. And let me just say this, when the contract ends, leave everything behind. There's no point in hauling used chemicals and mop heads from building to building. You charge for it up front and you move on. And if the client asks, you can let them know that when the relationship ends, all of the supplies and equipment will remain on their location. Pricing commercial cleaning becomes simple when you follow this structure. Do a detailed walkthrough, estimate how long the cleaning will take, use the formula with your hourly rate, add supplies and taxes, charge for a one-time deep cleaning, charge a one-time fee for your starter kit, and stick to your pricing to protect your profit. Every building is unique, but this method works for all industries, all building types, and all scopes of work. Now, another thing that I just want to wrap up this video with is that you are going to misquote yourself in the beginning because you might not have an idea of how long a building will take to clean because maybe you're brand new at this. Now, in that type of situation, one thing that you can do is if you're a part of my CEO success community is post it in the discussion board. Or you can get on a call with me and I'd be happy to go over your photos, your videos, your scope of work, and come up with a proposal. Now, if you decide to go ahead and do the quoting on your own and you underbid, don't worry about it. You are going to learn moving forward. So every time you do come up with an estimated amount of clean time, always give yourself a little bit room for error. Also keep in mind that people do not clean as quickly as we do. So because I was in the field and I like to clean, I clean a little bit faster than the average technician. So I also have to keep that into account. So if I'm looking at a dentist's office, for example, and I'm looking around and I'm thinking, okay, how long would this take me to clean, right? Let's just say it's 2 floors. And I say, okay, the second floor is going to take me about an hour and a half to clean every night alone. And the first floor is going to take me about an hour and a half to clean every night alone, right? So that's 3 hours total hours for the cleaning. Now, I am not going to just use that number 3 in the math because I'm going to give a little bit more time for another technician. So maybe we would go up to like 4 hours or 3.5 hours. But you do want to give yourself a little bit of room for error and misquoting. And then something that I want to mention is, you might ask yourself, well, why am I collecting all of that data in the walkthrough? Why am I collecting the square footage if I'm not even going to use that into the mathematics? But again, it's so that you have something to reference. You need to start understanding your production rates. Just like in homes, right? We write down 1 bed, 1 bath took us this long, 2 bed, 2 bath took us this long, and then you'll see a medium. So if you have that dental office, for example, that we're using as an example, and it's 2,000 square feet, and you quote it at 3.5 hours or something like that, but then it ends up taking you 4 hours to clean, right? You may have underbid a little bit, but now in the back of your mind and written down in your files, you can say, okay, so on average, it takes us 4 hours of cleaning to clean 2,000 square feet in a dental office, right? So now next time you have an office to propose or an office similar in size and similar scope and work, you have something to look back on. You can say, hey, we cleaned that 2,000 square foot dental office in 4 hours. We originally thought it would take 3. So moving forward, you can apply that into, your future quotes. And I also do want to say that there are plenty of us that are well seasoned in the industry that still happen to underquote. So again, this is trial and error. If you ever find yourself that you really, really misquoted yourself, like majorly, like you thought it was going to be, 2 hours every night, you send the proposal over, and then you figure out on the first cleaning, it's like an 8-hour clean or something crazy like that, then you can always try to renegotiate with the client. Of course, it's not the most professional thing to do, but at the same time, you're not going to keep an account that is not going to profit you any money or even worse, cost you, right? So there have been times where I have had to do that with offices and even sometimes with a one-time deep cleaning. And the best thing that you can do is communicate to your client right away, be truthful, be upfront, and always, bring the matter up as soon as it happens. So I would say something along the lines or sending an email saying, hey, Dr. So-and-so, today's routine cleaning went well. We did realize that we severely underbid this account in time by this much. Unfortunately, this is going to be the new rate going forward if you want us to maintain the account to our standards. Otherwise, we're going to have to not keep this account. But a lot of people are understandable. And anytime that I have actually needed to ask for any more money, I've never been told no. So that's my little tidbit of that. Please drop your comments down below. And if you guys aren't already part of the CEO Success Circle online community, then you guys should definitely check that out. And I do one-on-one coaching calls.